o personal na interes ng ilan. Pasensya na po. Maraming salamat po sa Quad Committee dahil 7 taon po. Nahihirap talaga po.
Na sana pagbigyan nila ako na makauwi. Na makadalaw man lang at makita ang papa ko na nakaburol sa
Kerwin, of course, you believe that
Colonel Garma, can you speak louder? I'm sorry, speak closer to the microphone.
Mga iginagalang na mga miyembro ng Kamara de Representantes, Your Honors, good morning. Noong mga nakaraang linggo, nabalitaan ko po ang pagnanais na makapagsalita ako na maging resource person sa hearing ng Quad Committee. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank each one of you for allowing me to speak. Maraming salamat po. Napaisip ako nang marinig ko ang balita. Sabi ko sa sarili, ito na siguro ang tamang pagkakataon na malaya akong kukuha ng lakas ng loob at magsasalita ng katotohanan kahit ako pa ay natatakot at may pangamba sa aking buhay. Una po sa lahat, I declare that I was not and never will be a drug protector. I don't know personally nor did I benefit in any way from any illegal drug personality in Iloilo or anywhere else. After 7 years of exile, dahil sa napolitika at walang basehang mga akusasyon, kaliwat kanang mga paratang at higit sa lahat mga banta sa aking buhay at sa buhay ng aking pamilya, narito po ako ngayon at humaharap po sa inyo. Naging kabataang barangay chairman, number 1 city councilor, vice mayor, at mayor in 2010, 13, and 16. And was fortunate to have been chosen as the top 5 world mayor in 2014. That also included the former president as a nominee. In the campaign against illegal drugs, as mayor and as mandated by law, I am aware of my authority to set local policies and priorities related to crime and drugs. I'm also aware that under the law, the PNP and PIDEA handle crime investigation and response, and the combating of drug trafficking and enforcement of drug laws, while the mayor relies on the police and PIDEA to implement them. And so when I became mayor, and having made aware that there were existing drug groups in the city, I immediately initiated anti-illegal drug activities, campaign and policies, among others, multiple programs, one of which is to activate the Barangay Anti-Drug Abuse Councils. In 2014 po, according to PIDEA, Iloilo City was the first in the country to have 100% of its BADAC activated. In the 6 years that I have been mayor of Iloilo City consistently received national recognitions from PIDEA and the PNP in the years 2014, 2015, 2016, and even in 2017 for the comprehensive programs including rehab, logistical support to the PNP and PIDEA in their drive against illegal drugs. Since the existence of these drug syndicates in our city was deeply rooted, I relied on the expertise of the local PNP and regional PIDEA to deal with these groups while I focused on the socio-economic programs that would address the root causes of poverty that expose the vulnerable population to cope against the evils of illegal drugs. But all of these efforts were ignored by the Duterte administration. Kung matatandaan po ninyo, nagsimula ang lahat ng ito nung bigla na lamang na isama ang mga pangalan sa PRRD narco list ng Administrasyong Duterte. Isang listahan naglalaman ng mga pangalan ng mga kilalang public official na di umano ay sangkot sa illegal na droga, mga paratang na walang basihan, at kahit kailan ay hindi naman napatunayan. As a matter of fact, until today, there are no drug-related cases that have been filed, especially in the legal courts, against me and my person. Pero kung inyong titingnang maigi, isinama ang pangalan ng kalaban sa politika sa isang validated list ng mga drug personalities sa kasunod na PRRD list. Sa kabila ng mga questionableng impormasyon, walang validation o confirmation man lang na ginawa kahit na anumang ahensya ng gobyerno sa Malacanang initiated list. Itong PRRD list di umano ay naging hit list. Sa isang public forum ng PIDEA noong 2018, mismo ang Regional Adjudication Committee o tinatawag na RAC ay nagsabi na wala yung pangalan ko sa kanilang listahan. While in the Iloilo City Anti-Drug Abuse Council meeting, then PIDEA 6 Regional Director Hil Pabilona and Iloilo City Police Director Colonel Remus Canieso officially ang nagpatotoo na wala rin ang pangalan ko sa drug list. Ngunit, nanatili ang listahan sa kanilang mga record. Hanggang ngayon, lahat ng mga paratang at akusasyong ibinabato sa akin ay patuloy na sumisira sa aking reputasyon at pati na rin ang reputasyon ng minamahal kong Iloilo. Dahil sa seryosong banta sa aking buhay, napilitan po ako na hindi bumalik from an international speaking engagement in Japan at lisanin ng aking pamilya ang bayang buong pagsisikap naming itinaguyod ng may dangal. PRRD even assigned Lieutenant Colonel Espinosa to Iloilo and announced with a threat, mabubuhi pa kaya siya? Ibig sabihin in Tagalog, mabubuhay pa kaya siya? Referring to me. Pinalad po ako na meron akong speaking engagement sa isang international conference sa Japan, kaya nakaalis ako ng bansa. Paulit-ulit ang pagbabanta ni Presidente Duterte sa media, harap-harapang sinasabi, papatay daw ako. Hindi lamang po ito basta-basta pagbabanta. Kayang-kaya niya pong totohanin ito. Labag man sa kalooban, kinailangan po naming lumisan at wag na munang bumalik sa Pilipinas. On August 28, 2017, I received an unexpected call from former PNP Regional Director Bernardo Diaz. He invited me to meet with PNP Chief Ronald De La Rosa, now Senator, at Camp Crame, Quezon City, at noon the following day. The next morning, on August 29, I arrived at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport at 10 a.m., ready to proceed. But then the call started. First, they moved the meeting to 3 p.m., and then by 5 p.m., it was delayed again, this time to 6 p.m. At around 5 p.m., a PNP colonel called me and, in a voice that sent shivers down my spine, literal po yun, warned me not to go to Camp Crame because my life was in danger. The fear that had been simmering now erupted. Soon after, at 6:32 p.m., my wife, Marivic, received a chilling text from a PNP colonel's wife. Do not proceed. There are 20 men surrounding your house, and if you go to Camp Crame, they will kill you. The terror was paralyzing. I couldn't believe it. My life and my family's life was hanging by a thread. The next day, on August 30, I took the first flight out to Japan, not knowing if I would ever return. Upon arrival, I received a message from General Diaz to call a number. Using a public payphone, I made the call and spoke to General Bato, who expressed his sympathy. He was talking to me in Bisaya. He told me he knew I was innocent, that I wasn't involved in illegal drugs, and he promised to help me. His words brought a brief moment of hope. I told him I would finish my work abroad and return to meet him, but he urged me to be careful, repeating his pledge to help. Just after that call, my Philippine cell phone rang. This time, it was another general. His voice was grim. Mayor, do not return. Your life is in danger. The accusations against you are all fabricated. But if you go to Crame, you'll be forced to point fingers to an opposition senator and a former presidential candidate as drug lords. The weight of the conspiracy against me was unbearable. This general couldn't live with the guilt of seeing me killed, he said, and warned me to destroy my Philippine SIM card and phone immediately, and told me because my phone is going to be wiretapped. My hands trembled as I realized how close death had come. I knew then that I was no longer just a target. I was in a battle for my life. Dumiretso po kami sa US at nag-apply ng political asylum. Mapalad po kami na pinagkalooban kami ng US ng political asylum. It took 15 months for them to investigate and see the validity of us not being involved in illegal drugs, and all these accusations are all false. Ito ay isang patunay na walang nakitang kadahilanan na ibinigyan kami ng political asylum in March 2019. Masakit at malungkot, ngunit napilitan akong lumisan mula sa aking sinumpaan tungkulin sa aking pamilya at sa kababayan kong Ilonggo, na sinumpaan kong pagsilbihan, hindi dahil sa nagkasala ako, kundi dahil nanganganib na po ang aming buhay. I come before you today not merely to recount my sufferings, but to highlight a critical flaw in our system, one that allows law enforcement agencies to be weaponized for political purposes. That illegal drug trade stems from the ills of our society, from poverty to corruption of government institutions, including our law enforcement agencies. by using state institutions to carry out personal vendettas or silence perceived enemies undermine the foundation of justice and democracy in our country. Sideline. No individual should be allowed to wield such unchecked authority regardless of their position or power. Ang karanasan at ng iba pang mga katulad kong biktima, lalong-lalo na ang mga mayors na pinagbintangan, ay ang nagmulat sa amin sa mga pagkukulang at kakulangan ng ating law enforcement agencies. Kailangan mapatibay pa ang mga institusyon ito upang hindi basta-basta magamit o maimpluwensya ng politika. Masigurong makakapagsilbi ng may integridad, walang kinikilingan at may respeto sa batas. Ang panawagan po namin sa inyo, manguna po ang hustisya at magkaroon ng reforma sa ating sistema, partikular sa pamamalakad ng ating law enforcement agencies. Accusations must be duly validated and authenticated first before any public announcement to avoid shaming and destroying the honor, reputation, and good image of hardworking and innocent persons. Higit sa lahat, panagutin ang mga umaabuso sa kapangyarihan. Sana ang nadanasan naming paghihirap na durog, persecution, trauma, at saka walang-wala ay hindi po mararanasan ng iba. At mananaig ang katotohanan at hindi ang pamumulitika o personal na interes ng ilan. Pasensya na po. Maraming salamat po sa Quad Committee dahil 7 taon po. Nahihirap talaga po. Maraming salamat dahil nabigyan niyo po kami, ako, at ang iba pang mga biktima ng pagkakataon na linisin ang aming mga pangalan at ng mga minamahal ko, Ilonggo at yung Iloilo na tinawag po Shabolized. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Dakbanwas ang Iloilo, bugal ko, my city, my pride. I am Iloilo, proud to be Filipino po. Salamat po.
Thank you, Congressman. Thank you, Mayor Mabilog.
Can you please confirm if you are the same Roland Eslabon Espinosa, aka Kerwin? Kayo po ba ito?
Opo, yes po, Your Honor.
And do you confirm the truthfulness of the contents of this affidavit?
Opo, Your Honor.
Hindi po ba kayo tinakot, binayaran, pinakiusapan, pinangakuan para gawin ang salaysay na ito?
Wala pong nangyari na ganyan, kundi ako mismo nagpatulong sa abogado ko na magpunta dito sa mga congressman para nagbaka sakali ako na makamit na ang mga nabiktima ng EJK sa nakaraang administrasyon.
Kerwin, kanina, while you were delivering your opening statement, I observed that you were crying. Umiiyak ka. Can you please enlighten us why?
Kasi sa panahon na nandoon ako sa AIDG na nakaburol ang papa ko,
humiling ako sa mga pulis doon na sana pagbigyan nila ako na makauwi. Na makadalaw man lang at makita
ang papa ko na nakaburol sa
Kerwin, of course, you believe that your father, the late Mayor Espinosa, is a victim of ruthless killing. Is this your position, Kerwin?
Yes po.
Pero alin ba yung mas nakakaiyak? Yung pagkamatay ni Mayor Espinosa o yung hindi kanila pinayagan na madalaw ang burol niya?
Pareho po yung dalawa na hindi ako pinayagan na makauwi sa lugar namin para makita sa kahuli-hulihan na panahon ang daddy ko.
Kerwin, prior to the death of Mayor Espinosa on November 5, 2016, he was the mayor of Albuera, Leyte. You confirm?
Yes po.
Pang ilang taon po ba niya na mayor ng Albuera during that time?
First time pa po niya na maging mayor po ng Albuera, Leyte.
So 2016 is supposed to be his first term as mayor.
Yes po.
Ano po ang ginagawa ni Mayor Espinosa bago siya naging mayor noong 2016?
Ang mga ginagawa po niya ay tumutulong sa mga tao doon sa lugar namin o sa lungsod ng Albuera ng mga kunting mamigay siya ng mga bigas, yung may mga problema kahit personal, yung mga asawa, ayusin niya at madali siyang lapitan ng mga tao doon. Kaya binoto siya na maging mayor.
Pwede mo ba kaming kwentuhan, Kerwin? Ano ang pagkatao ni Mayor Espinosa as he is known by the people of Albuera, Leyte?
Yung papa ko po, mabait. Mabait na tao. Mahirap na kung elaborate ko pa kung anong klaseng tao siya. So siguro sa nakita kong kakayahan ng Quadcom o sa mga congressmen, pwede naman sila magpadala ng tao doon sa lugar namin at itanong kung anong klase o anong unsay pagkatao sa akong papa. Lisod, mahirap kasi na ako magsalita na ganito. Kasi sarili ko yon, ama. Mas mabuti na malaman nyo based doon sa mga tao sa Albuera.
I understand, Kerwin. You also stated in your sinumpaang salaysay, habang nasa Malaysia ka, papuntang Abu Dhabi, you learned that the late Mayor Espinosa is included in the narco list.
Oh, yun po. Nalaman ko na lang na nasali siya sa listahan ng presidente na narco list.
Paano at kanino nyo po nalaman na kasama pa lang inyong ama sa narco list?
Sa panahon na yon, may kaibigan ako na si Buntuyan, taga Cebu. Si IDG din yun, si Sir Delpin Buntuyan. Siya ang nagsabi sa akin na amigo, ang imong papa na appeal sa narcolis ni Presidente.
Was there ever a time, Kerwin, that you validated or you verified the truthfulness of the fact that your father is included in the narco list?
Na ano ko na yun, na positive na talaga, na naniwala ko. Kasi sa TV at sinabi ni Pangulong Duterte na kasama ang papa ko sa listahan ng mga narcolis.
You are saying, Kerwin, that Mayor Espinosa is one of those named by President Duterte as included in the narco list. Is that your statement, Kerwin?
Yes, yes po.
And that is the reason why you conclude already that indeed your father is among those in the narco list.
Yes,
Tama ba?
yes po, yes po.
There are three important statements you made in your sinumpaang salaysay which really captured my attention. First, Kerwin, is the raid which happened in the house of your late father in August 2016. You mentioned in your affidavit that the guns, the explosives, and the drugs were all planted, and you were certain because prior to the raid, there were women who cleaned up the entire house
Yes.
because they are apprehensive already that any time there will be a raid in the house.
Yes po. Bago nangyari ang raid, yung mga women supporter ng daddy ko, nandoon sa bahay. Kasi yung daddy ko, doon na tumira sa munisipyo. Nagbabantay ang mga women supporter ni daddy sa bahay namin, ancestral house. Habang nandoon sila, lininisan nila yung bahay ni daddy. At yung sinabi, nandoon daw sa nakita sa cabinet, sila mismo nagtaka kung paano nakita na merong mga illegal na bagay doon sa cabinet. Samantalang ang dami nilang naglinis na wala silang nakitang droga.
Can you please confirm for the record, Kerwin, ano ang mga nakuha ng PNP operatives during the raid of August 2016 in the place of residence of the late mayor?
Sabi daw nila, based on sa ilang report, nakakuha sila kanog 11 kilos nga shabu dito sa ilalim ng cabinet at mga baril doon daw sa loob ng bahay ni mayor at may mga pampasabog doon din nakuha sa loob ng bahay ni mayor. Kung isipin natin 11 kilos, hindi kaya yun nakita sa mga naglinis na mga women's? Ang dami nun. At ang mga baril. At ang mga bomba. Ilagay kaya yun ni Mayor sa loob ng bahay na mga sumasabog na mga bagay at mga mahabang baril? Yun ang sabi nila na nakita daw nila doon sa loob. Pero walang kahit isa na taga-Albuera na maniwala sa kanila sa report nila na may nakuha doon. Kasi ang nagbantay sa bahay ni Mayor, yung ancestral house namin, nasa 70 ka mga babae nandoon sa bahay. Binantayan talaga ang bahay namin. Inano sila ni Joby na magkaroon ng raid, kaya tumakbo na sila. Natakot.
So you deny, Kerwin, the legitimacy of the raid or the operation that was conducted by the police operatives on August 2016?
Opo.
And can you please state for the record, sino po ba ang namuno? Sino po ang team leader ng naganap na raid sa inyong tahanan nung nasabing petsa?
Si Mr. Juby Espinido po.
Can you please state his full name?
Police Colonel Juby Espinido.
Mr. Chair, may we know if we have Colonel Espinido here?
To the information of the Honorable Luistro, he sent us a letter of excuse in today's evening.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the satisfaction of the Filipino people, just to make sure that Kerwin is aware of the identity of the one he is naming as Colonel Jovi Espinido, may we request the Secretariat to flash a picture And let's hear from Kerwin if he will be able to identify who this person is.
Yes po.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. On September 12, 2024 and September 27, 2024, I was invited to serve as a resource speaker during the recent legislative inquiry conducted by the Joint Committee on Dangerous Drug Public Order and Safety, Human Rights and Public Accounts of the Honorable House of Representatives regarding the investigation into the war on drugs of the previous administration. During these hearings, I was asked several questions concerning my knowledge or involvement in the deaths of 3 Chinese inmates of the Davao Penal Colony and the death of General Wesley Barayuga, all focusing on the alleged extrajudicial killings of the aforementioned individuals. I was also questioned about my relationship with the former president, as well as my career as a police officer and my tenure as the general manager of the Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office. Throughout the hearings, I answered questions from the committee based on my personal knowledge. However, I did so with great apprehension as I recognized that my statements on national television could significantly endanger my life, the safety of my family, and others very close to me. After considerable reflection, I am now executing this affidavit to provide a comprehensive information to the Quadcom regarding everything I personally know about the war on drugs during the former administration. On May 2026, I received a call from the President, Rodrigo Roa Duterte, at approximately 5 a.m., instructing me to meet him at his residence in Doña Luisa, Davao City. I was already acquainted with the mayor, having served as the station commander in one of the police stations in Davao City during his tenure. During our meeting, he requested that I will locate a PNP officer or operative who is a member of the Iglesia ni Cristo, indicating that he needed someone capable of implementing the war on drugs on a national level, replicating the Davao model. The Davao model referred to the system involving payment and reward. The Davao model involves 3 levels of payment of rewards. First is the reward if the suspect is killed. Second, if is the funding of planned operations. And the third is the refund of operational expenses.
Colonel Garma, can you speak louder? I'm sorry, speak closer to the microphone.
Initially, I informed the President that I was unaware of any individual with those qualifications, as I had not been assigned outside of Davao City or had served in the national capacity within the PNP. However, I recalled my upperclassman Edilberto Leonardo, who was heading the Criminal Investigation Detection Group and was also a member of the Iglesia ni Cristo. I mentioned his name to the President. On the same day, a certain individual named Muking contacted me to request for the phone number of Leonardo's contact details, which I promptly provided. A week later, I learned from Arthur Narsolis via phone call that Sir Leonardo had been summoned and was instructed to proceed to the Royal Mandaya Hotel in Davao for a meeting. Leonardo informed me later that he stayed at the hotel for almost 3 days, during which the president directed him to organize, according to Sir Leonardo, a task force which he understood as PAOK-TF. When Leonardo relayed this information, urged me to join the task force, I declined first, citing my lack of experience in handling said operations. Leonardo subsequently informed me that he had prepared a proposal routed to Bongo outlining the task force which would encompass Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. I am afraid of my life, Mr. Chair, and the life of my relatives and my friends and classmates. Leonardo subsequently informed me that he had prepared a proposal routed to Bongo confirming the task force operation which would encompass Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. He also inquired if he and his classmates could have a courtesy call with the president through Bongo for a photo opportunity. Considering this, I thought it prudent to invite also my classmates to join the courtesy call. So in the presence of Colonel Bacay, Vilela, Grijaldo, Tuzon, and Dueñas, the member of class 97 and 96 were accommodated in separate rooms at the DPWH office in Panacan, Davao City. The president did not enter our room, and I was unaware if he visited the room of class 96. After the courtesy call, Leonardo informed me that the structure of the mentioned task force would undergo changes. In June of 2016, Leonardo has transferred from Manila to assume the position of the chief of the CIDG Region 11. During the initial 3 months of the assignment, I facilitated all meetings between Leonardo and Bongo at Leonardo's request. Subsequently, they established direct communication. Leonardo informed me that he had recalled several trusted personnel, namely Lester, Romel Bactat, Rodel Serbo, Palma, Peter Parungo to serve as operative for the task force. Notably, Bactat, Serbo, and Palma were, for now, discharged from the police service. Romel Bactat, Serbo, Palma were all former police officers stationed at the CIDG 11 office. They were discharged from the service on or about a year ago due to an operation that led to the killing of one individual. Lester Berganyo is a provide citizen, while Peter Parungo was a former detainee of CIDG due to a charge of rape that has been cleared.
Romel Bactat, Cervo Palma, and Parunga were charged with the task of collecting and verifying informations provided by police officers in the field concerning arrests, deaths of individuals named in the list of drug personalities, and creating summary reports. All of these reports would then be encoded and compiled by Lester Berganyo. The compilation is thereafter elevated to Sir Leonardo, who will decide what level the arrest or killing was and its corresponding reward. Rewards were only given for killings, while for arrests, only for the funding of Copland and refund for operational expenses was given. I saw how these individuals operated when I would visit my friend in CIDG 11. He conveyed that the task force would be structured differently and that he submitted a document to Bongo detailing the task force operation, including an overview of the current drug landscape in the Philippines. I was informed that the drug structure originated from Bucor, where numerous drug lords are currently incarcerated, and that it has 3 branches, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao, with Peter Lim involved in the Visayas region. Once the task force became operational, I later learned that all Copland's funds, refunds for operational expenses, and rewards for agents were processed through the account of Peter Parungo. Currently, Lester Berganyo maintained a comprehensive list of the drug personalities of the Philippines. Leonardo conducted briefings for all PIDEA, IG regional directors, and PNP chiefs regarding the drug situation. Additionally, if any individual died during police operations, Leonardo will report the incidents to Bongo for inclusion in the weekly report and request for refunds of operational expenses. Leonardo had final authority to determine who would be included in the list of drug personalities and to classify their threat level, as well as the discretion to remove individuals from the list. Furthermore, in 2016, while I was at the CIDG office following up the appointments of my personnel, I overheard Padilla discussing drug activities at the Davao Penal Colony with Leonardo. Padilla specifically identified certain Bucor officers involved in drug trade, notably mentioning an officer named Ginto, who was subsequently killed along with other Bucor members. These are the critical facts I personally know regarding the drug war of the previous administration. I am prepared to provide additional details and information in a supplemental affidavit or during an executive session at the discretion of the committee. I affirm the truthfulness and accuracy of the above statements to assist in the investigation by the Joint Committee, Your Honors.
Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead, SDS.
Mr. Chairman, alam mo, papasalamat ako kay Ma'am Garma. And no, alam po natin ang nararamdaman mo. Pero kaya ako umakyat, nanonood po ako sa TV, sa baba. Mukhang itong committee na to parang pinilit ka para magsalita. Kaya ka umiyak. Baka sabihin ang Quadcom pinilit ka para magsumite ng affidavit at basahin mo. Umiyak ka. So gusto po namin kasi na pakita mo talaga na kusang loob